Okay, so I'm gonna be distracted the entire time.
Welcome to the Sticking Pin podcast.
No. Okay. No, I can't. Please remove your cat.
I have a good kitten. Yes, I do.
Damn it. Anyway. Okay. I'm gonna actually try and do the recap now, okay?
Okay.
Go for it.
I wish you luck.
Me too.
Fuck you too, Nene. Okay. Last we left off, the party had a rather emotionally intensive conversation with one of the old party members of Cole, a well-dressed tiefling that had gone by the moniker of Emily. After learning of some grievances shared between she and Cole, as well as the elven male that had greeted them the day prior, they returned to their current place to discuss elements of what was learned during this. With learning of the body count resting on the shoulders of the members of the party, and an ensuing freakout from Natalie, they decided to work towards the more available goal of their wyvern bounty further north away from the bigger cities. We pick up on that following day after calming down from new information and having salt in old wounds. It's a beautiful day outside, sun shining and the streets of Waterdeep beginning to harbor their own hustle and bustle down below. And you're starting to hear people downstairs just loud enough to know that you've definitely hit the average time for breakfast here at the Drunken Wyvern. So, what do you do? Other than a cat?
Is there a cat at the Drunken Wyvern now?
Apparently.
Depending on who rolls for it, they might have a cat in their room.
I'll roll for it.
God Christ!
I'll roll for it.
Roll for cat, yeah, sure.
Nat 20.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
This is
If
the
we stick with this
silliest
and run by
fucking roll
Tabaxi
I've
this
ever heard
entire
of.
time.
You know what? Fine.
Hey, let's go. Hey.
You wake up, Niminiue, in your room to see a small calico cat purring at the edge of your bed. You don't know how it got in, but it is purring and
lean
staring at you.
over and reach down and start trying to pet it. And say, hey, kitty, you want to come eat breakfast with me?
Roll animal handling? Because you decided to do this?
While she's rolling, do tabaxis purr? It's a very important question.
Do Sorry, what?
Tabaxi purr when they're happy.
16.
That's semantics I wasn't planning on talking about, considering there's no tabaxis in the party.
But I need to know.
You're gonna have to sit in that for now.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. The cat happily leans into the petting and seems to, for now, at least, be following what you're doing.
I take it with me to the breakfast table and order food.
Did you pick up the cat?
And start feeding it tidbits.
Did you pick up the cat?
Yes. Yes.
A full-grown cat that probably doesn't like being picked up? Yeah, you rolled a 16. I'll say it's not exactly thrilled to be picked up, but since you're just definitely not enthused that it's being picked up, but goes with it because, oh, hey, look, this person has offered.
I head downstairs with it and order breakfast and start feeding it off my plate.
Excellent. Who's next? For seeing Niminiue just coddling a cat.
Well, Natalie's sleeping in. She's obviously not next.
Natalie's not a morning person, huh?
Lithera will probably come down.
We've all established Rayan is not a morning person either, but
Cole probably comes down at the exact same time as you, Lithera. Looking a little tired, but otherwise okay. Tired in the sense of probably woke up and laid in bed for a while before actually coming down. That sort of tired. And he just stares at you, Naminue, with that look of, are you kidding me? As soon as he gets downstairs. So, Lizera, you do see the calico cat that is with Naminue right now, along with Cole.
Excuse me, sir. No biting the bike. Sorry.
So, Lizera, you and Cole both see Naminue coddling this calico cat and giving it food.
Lithera is just going to sigh, find a spot, and order food for herself, because I'm not dealing with this, no thanks.
Actually, what's your passive investigation? I don't know what Cole's.
Who, mine?
I have no idea. How do I figure that out?
The same
That's
way
an
as passive
excellent
perception, but with investigation.
That doesn't help me right now.
10 plus your investigation modifier.
So 11.
Yeah, my passive would be 11 as well.
Just a perfectly normal cat.
Who's currently eating my hair? Stop it.
So yeah, it's just a normal cat. I need to bring up? Oh God. Give me a second. I need to. Why is it taking forever? I should have brought this up like 40 minutes in advance. I did not. We were talking about dice for 45 fucking minutes.
We bought dice. Don't say just talking. We bought dice.
Don't say we bought. You bought as a gift. You're a great person.
Again, bought dice.
you need is a person of action. I am a person of talking.
His passive. God damn it. Load. I did this to myself. I know his passive perception. I don't know his passive.
Oh, it's perfect. In other news, I am still doing crazy things. Not sorry.
No. Nope.
Right.
Fucking incredible. Nobody has a high enough passive investigation, apparently. Anyway, moving on. Cole orders himself something to eat and rather quietly goes about his preparations for waking up. He definitely is already starting to drink. Something light for right now, but still a bit early for a drink.
Only a little bit.
I'd say it's about like 7:30, 8 in the morning. Maybe 8:30. So, Natalie and Ryan, are you guys going to wake up in the next 30 minutes? Or are you going to...
At 8:30 in the morning? Who do you take us for?
I don't know. Sane people.
Rayan wakes up, but pledges mentally to take a nap at some point in this day.
He's just going to be like, I need to take a quick power nap. No big deal. Just conk out for a bit.
Exactly.
So downstairs comes this very bleary-eyed, very unwilling to be awake Dragonborn cleric that just doesn't seem at all happy with the fact that she's awake very early in the morning. And you also see a cat with an minuet.
Rhiannon's eyes go wide. Her pupils dilate. She tiptoes very carefully over near to the cat and holds out one hand and says, "Meow." She's not very good at talking to cats, apparently.
Do you
but she
actually
thinks
say
she-
meow as a Dragonborn?
Oh.
Yes.
Excellent.
She says meow. You know, instead of like meow is what she's going with.
Oh no.
She cannot pronounce.
You just get
So.
this look from Cole that is halfway between I can't believe this and I should have expected this.
You should have.
And he drinks some more of his second drink of the day. Lucera, how do you feel about this?
Lucera is trying to ignore everything that's going on right now.
Ooh, that's That is an excellent question. At a roll of 10, you got a 10?
Yes.
I'd say you wouldn't have had the greatest sleep, but you probably had a nightmare or two.
Okay.
Not extremely bad ones, but you're in the middling average point of how bad was my night?
Like nightmares from the past, yeah.
I'm so glad you're including this by yourself. I didn't have to say anything.
I would think the Minuet would normally have nightmares at night. Why do you think she's usually one of the first down?
Oh.
Oh, that's fair. Fair enough. So, Natalie.
Natalie, unburdened by such things, comes down a few minutes.
So
Well,
around
maybe
like
not lately, but a good few minutes later.
about
Who's
15
then rubbing
minutes
at her
later.
eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably be, when she comes down and sees the cat, she'll probably be seeing the Minuet feeding her little choice tidbits and scratching behind her ears. Or his, whichever it is. Is it a male or a female kitty?
Female, I suppose.
Sorry.
Okay.
I
Um,
didn't think I'd have to yes and that particular question.
Should roll for gender.
No
first,
rolling for gender. No rolling for gender in this fucking recording. Oh,
so,
no, goodbye, Mars. Hold on, wait a minute.
Oh.
Mars died. Return. Mars, return, please. Freedom? Mars, have you returned?
Yeah, sorry, my Discord just refreshed for literally no reason.
Yeah.
That happened to me like
Yeah.
a good hour back or so.
Cool.
Okay.
So, with a passive investigation of 18,
This cat is familiar.
anything?
It's a fey cat.
Oh.
She's spoiling
Nimue-
somebody's familiar.
Nimue, whose is that?
I don't know, but this cute kitty was sitting at the foot of my bed when I woke up. Aren't you such a cute kitty?
That is a very
Yes, you
happy
are.
cat, and also incredibly happy that she's being spoiled.
Natalie will look around for anyone else in the tavern that might be a caster.
Roll perception.
All right. That's a 16.
Yeah, okay. There's a couple more groups in here that either are coming here specifically for the food or because they're meeting up with people, all sorts of people. But there is a small group, about 3 people, in the far corner near the door, where there is currently a snickering male with long brown hair and just staring in your direction, covering his mouth and clearly amused by something. He doesn't look like your average caster, but judging by how he's reacting while looking over in your direction, probably his cat.
It's Rayanne's
Well,
cat now.
Don't you mean it's my cat now?
No.
no, it will find its way back to its owner easily enough.
Cole clears his throat. Okay.
If we're spending
That
a while
aside.
here, we're spending at least 10 minutes here. Natalie will do a speak with animals ritual, just
No,
to
in
see
the middle
what.
of the tavern? For God's sake.
Yeah. Why not?
Lithera is going to put a hand out and stop that from happening. Just no.
Oh, okay.
Cole shakes his head in that manner of, what am I dealing with anymore? So, we have a wagon that's waiting for us, and we have a bounty we're supposed to do. When do you think we should be heading out?
Is there anything else we need to do while we're in town?
Not that I'm aware of. I didn't expect to run into them when I was here, but, I guess luck's a little bit against me. And he laughs somewhat bitterly.
Hmm. Well, if we have everything we need... do we have everything we need? Everyone good on rations? Wait, no, we don't need that. Good berry.
You okay, Natalie?
Natalie's just going through things the party might need in her head while before answering. Let's see, our weapons all good.
He looks over to Lucera. You got everything you need?
Lithera just looks over the party, goes, I'm ready.
It's at this point that Diminue and Rayanne, you're fawning over the cat. The cat just disappears and reappears across the tavern.
Aw, the poor kitty left.
Rayanne looks a little bit like she's going to cry, but no one's allowed to comment on that.
It's a fey
It's
cat.
okay. The Minuet kind of have a little bit of tears threatening at the corner of her eyes.
Oh no. We're not crying over a fey cat that's not yours in the beginning of this.
Yes.
No.
Don't worry about you. That was familiar. The man back there. Who apparently appreciates the meal you gave him.
Do you think, Rayanne asks, that you could buy a familiar from someone?
I
don't think
heard
that's
of that
how
happening before.
I don't think that's how magic works. I wouldn't know. But I don't know if that's how that works from what other people have done around me.
I suppose if someone was no longer interested in having a familiar, then...
Aren't familiars attached to you?
In some ways, yes, but they can be separate.
Ryan is debating whether to offer and go into debt for the rest of her life. She's not sure.
The main problem would be that if you would not be able to get any other familiar, so if that's what you're interested in, then...
Ryan, consider hard.
No, I meant that the cast would be...
This is payback for spending fucking 2 hours in the tavern. This is payback.
Yeah.
It's why it doesn't happen.
It's not even
normally.
Nini's fault.
And
I didn't have
besides,
to do anything.
if something were to happen to the familiar, then there would be no resummoning, so to speak.
Ryan nods sagely. I think that's what that word means.
So basically, it's like having an actual cat. Cole just comments outright.
That's fair, yes.
Rhea nods again, thoughtfully. Well, who knows? Maybe I can whack some sense into... Who knows? Maybe I can whack some sense into some of these wyverns. I could possibly whack it hard enough to make it my pet.
That's right.
Cole opens his mouth as if to argue, and then goes quiet, in that sense of, never mind. We're just not having it.
Must advise against that. I don't think that will work. Ever?
The Minuet just kind of like lost in thought, nods her head decisively as though she's come to a decision, and starts heading out towards the door. Okay, let's go hunt some wyverns.
Rhiannon, panicking, follows her and adds very quickly, share custody.
Oh, no. Sorry, that wasn't
not fully finished with her food.
No.
If you get any familiars, please, could I have?
Natalie, not fully finished with her food, looks to the rest of the party.
As you pass by near the table where the cat now is, with where it was summoned to, you just hear the laughter of someone who overheard what you were talking about, and it just finds it hysterical. And the other people at his table are looking at him as if he's gone insane.
Lythera is going to walk over to the tavern owner and say very, very deadpan, I would like an entire bottle of your best wine. I'm going to need it.
The tavern owner looks at you for a moment, looks towards the party that's leaving, slowly nods, and says, that'll be 2 gold.
Done. Lythera hands the 2 gold pieces over, and 1 extra for all of the insanity that has been going on in this tavern.
Make a note of high quality wine.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are leaving to get your wagon? What?
Natalie hurriedly finishes up her food, but then yes.
No, that's for Lythera. That doesn't have anything to do with him anyway. I think Lythera is the one that's going to try and get drunk. Don't worry about it.
Mine.
Her gold, she
Keep in mind, this is the Minuet's thought process when she's not drunk and hasn't had anything to drink for a good day.
That doesn't sound like it's much different from normal Minuet, though.
No.
As a note, animal abuse isn't how you...
Anyway, what are you guys doing? You can spend more time in the city if you'd like. It's up to you.
The Minuet's already off trying to hunt the wyvern down for a pet.
You're not anywhere near Wyvern Tour, okay? I'm just making you very aware of that.
I forget, did we put anything, did we get a cart reserved or anything, for the days we were here? It's been a while?
You already
Yes, we
got.
did.
Okay.
Yeah, you already bought one for the road instead of reserved one.
Right.
So you have a covered wagon that is waiting for you at the shop that you bought it from, which is on the way
Okay.
out of town. So,
Well,
if you're
that's
headed over there,
convenient.
we can speed it up.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
If we start talking about inane shit again, I swear to God. Anyway, you guys head over to the shop to retrieve your. Oh no. I'm being brain dead for a second. My medicine hasn't kicked in. Anyway. You guys head over to get your wagon and you retrieve it without any issue. They were willing to hold it for you that long before questioning if you were coming back for it or not. And you presumably
It's only
head
been
out
like a
of
couple
town.
of days in game time.
Yeah. They do run a business. They can't hold wagons forever.
And to move the wagon, I remember we talked about extended casts.
Yes. Out of combat,
For a
yeah.
spell like conjure animals.
Yes. I think I said 2
Good.
third level spells to extend it to about 12 hours.
All right. So to bring the cart on our way, Natalie summons good few riding horses. I believe. Let's see. We should only need like 4 tops of conjuring half, so I believe they're technically war horses.
It's up to you.
Yeah. Sure thing. 4 war horses. Big strong horse.
Okay.
What color?
Technically, you can make them whatever color you want. You are conjuring them.
That's so much power.
Mm-hmm.
Can they be rainbow horses?
Oh my God.
Or are they horses of ever-changing colors?
You know what?
That
If you
just
want
says
gay
Fae.
horses, you want gay horses. And just go ahead.
Look, they're Fae
I
horses.
was thinking
How would they not be?
I was thinking more of ever-changing color, like from the movie Dorsey.
Can you make holographic horses? Is that a thing you can do?
Look, they're Fae
It's
horses.
magic. You
of
can do
course.
what you want. Technically, they are Fae, so they can technically be whatever color you think would match the Feywild, which is basically just a fucking rainbow.
Yeah.
Feywild
That's what we're going with, I guess.
Rainbow horses?
Rainbow horses.
Are you sure?
It will be conspicuous as shit here in Waterdeep. But
more than just
we're on our
Waterdeep.
way out.
But if you're sure.
I know. Conspicuous as shit in general, I guess. But if no one's stopping...
I'm so tired.
Welcome back to being a DM.
I'm so fucking tired. You experienced like half of what I get to experience from your shit, okay? Fuck you. Anyway. So I'm separating this journey into batches of 3. So if there's anything that you guys would like to establish or do on these legs of journeys, there's about 3.5 of these before you reach your destination.
And the Minuet will proceed to get drunk and plot.
Does she have anything to get drunk with?
I don't remember, to be honest.
You can't get drunk on stuff that you don't have. And I don't think we established that she actually keeps alcohol on her.
Okay.
It would have to be
Well,
bought.
then the Minuet will be eyeballing the booze. She knows that Lythera.
Question for Lythera.
Hmm.
Does she have the high quality wine open and available for everyone to see?
Hell no.
So you can't do that in a minuet.
Of course.
Okay.
As far as you're concerned, everybody on here is fucking dry as the desert.
All right,
a
well,
hangover,
she'll
by the way.
pretend to be drinking.
Actually, roll Constitution for me.
Who, me?
Yes, you. Just to see how bad your hangover is, because you've been drunk primarily throughout this entire adventure so far.
$10.
It's one of your less favorable hangovers, and it's probably one of the reasons why you keep drinking to begin with, regardless of your actual decision. Sunlight definitely hurts. You definitely don't want to be out and about going next to the horses or anything like that. It's just bad. You're probably laying in the back of the wagon trying to ignore that sunlight exists.
Okay, she'd probably be propped up in the corner then, arms across her chest, just looking at the ceiling then.
So who's at the front with the horses?
Suppose Natalie could be.
There can be two people there. It's just up to you guys.
I vote the one who conjured them is the one who's driving them.
I suppose. You want to roll perception for me, Natalie?
All right. On the road, she will have Russet out as well.
Okay.
So
You can roll for both if you'd like. It depends on which one you're using, primarily, on what you get.
okay, rolling for both then. So Natalie has a +3, Russet has a +4, or no, other way around. Sorry. So Natalie gets a 10. Whoopsies. And
Dice
Russet gets an
really
18.
Your dice really don't like you.
Russet gets an 18.
So, nothing really of note happens during the first leg of this journey towards your destination. It's actually rather peaceful and quiet, and there's, for some reason, during all of this, there's pretty blue in the sky, cloudless, which is a bit strange going further north, and it's usually colder and much drearier. Speaking from a northern perspective on the matter.
Hey, Bri,
Yes.
a note for you.
Mhm.
I do have Natural Explorer
Mhm.
for forest, mountain, and grassland.
Mm. Do you?
Ain't that convenient?
Yes, I do.
What does that
Hi,
do again?
it's not like I've actually adventured in this area before.
What does that do again?
Favorite terrain types are forest, mountain, grassland. Related to the terrain types, 2 times proficiency bonus for intelligence and wisdom checks for which you are proficient. Difficult terrain doesn't slow your group. Always alert to danger. Can move stealthily alone at a normal pace, and 2 times food when foraging. While tracking, I can learn the exact number, size, and when they have passed through things.
Question for you. Are you actually paying attention?
Yes.
Okay. So around the third day, you get to a point where the main road branches off to the east.
Mhm.
And there is a lot of heavy wagon and foot traffic around this area. Primarily
Okay.
because you're both leaving a area of high renown and a lot of trade. and you can definitely tell that wherever the off pass leads to is probably another heavy trade section. Natalie, you recognize this road. It is the road to Succumber, where you live.
Hmm.
And it's a bit more heavily trafficked than the last time you came here. Even for the amount of time you've been away, there's a bit more foot traffic here.
Hmm.
So you can go east or you can continue on your way.
How late in the day is it for this point in the...
Currently, at this point, I'd say around noon to 1.
And by the time we reach Succumber, about when would it be?
That would be about another day or two of travel.
Oh.
More along the lines of a day and a half. 2 if you're taking a leisurely pace rather than moving forward a little bit faster.
Alright, so we can either go to a nearby town on the way, or continue straight on the path. Which would you prefer? Which would you all prefer to do?
Oh, from the back of the wagon just says, I think we should get our bounty done first before we go sightseeing.
And you, Lethera?
I can only agree. The sooner we get this done, the better.
Alright. And
Ryan and Minuet,
Natalie?
any ideas?
Francis. Yeah, makes sense.
And Minuet's probably still huddled up in the back of the wagon trying to ignore sunlight exists. Well, actually, no. It's been about a couple of days by now. I need you to roll another Constitution save. This time with a disadvantage.
I get a 9.
You're feeling a little bit more aggressive than you normally would be. It's definitely starting to take its toll on you after a couple of days of not having anything to drink. You'd probably snap at someone if they said just the wrong amount of things to you. But you think you can have it somewhat under control as long as you stay out of the sunlight.
Well, I don't bloody know. Let's hunt wyverns, you know?
Oh, alright. On the path it is. As Natalie passes up, the fork in the road to go to Succumber. Passing right by.
Okay. About 6-7 hours later, dusk hits, and you all settle down for another night of taking watches and making sure that nobody surprises you on the way there.
And being within a ritually cast tiny hut.
Indeed. Sure. How's Lethera handling that, Nini? There is a mute happening.
Lethera is going to stay outside of the tiny hut and stay outside right next to a fire that she starts to build.
Lethera?
You need to stop.
What?
You need to stop.
I'm sorry, what?
All that you're doing, every cast will wear on you. You need to rest. Put away whatever magic you're using now and just camp for a minute, would you? You're going to burn yourself out, or you're going to let all of your enemies know exactly what you can cast. Trust me. And she points at the jagged Lichtenberg figure that's crawling up the side of her face, glowing lightly in the dark. They'll know.
Can Natalie identify what spell that might represent?
Roll Arcana.
This is a +8. That's a 21 total.
Yeah, you can pretty easily recognize it from what you've heard through the grapevine and from people that have passed through Succumber, as well as from people that have been trained in the matter. It's lightning arrow.
Oh. Right, spell scars.
Yes. My suggestion to you, stop casting so much. Especially of the same thing. For once, settle in for the night. Let me go foraging and rest. All right?
Natalie, quick step outside, but then just goes back
What was that?
to end the effect of as with
I
her.
figured.
Yeah. Natalie steps outside of it, and then goes back and goes for bedroll for the night.
Okay. Messages. Yes, it is nighttime, lady.
That is generally when you camp.
For the most part. Oh. You're getting worse and worse at these rolls, lady. Are you okay?
Yes, it appears my dice are not happy
Did
with
you
me
apologize
today.
to your dice yet? Because you've been rolling consistently bad.
They know you're getting new ones. Huh. So who's taking first watch? I'm assuming. Luthera?
I guess Naminue will take first watch with one of the others.
So
Luthera and Naminue.
It's best to watch in pairs.
Luthera and Minue shall watch.
Roll
Brienne is
perception.
absolutely not taking first watch. She's not napped yet.
Both of you roll perception for me.
Ooh, a 19.
Oh.
Perception.
It got stopped by the other dice.
23.
Nothing of note happens during your watch. It's actually rather peaceful out here at night. No one else on the road so far. Actually,
Luthera rather
quite nice.
dutifully stays close to the fire and tends to it.
And the Naminue way would be facing outward so she wouldn't get night blind from the fire.
I forgot that was a thing that can happen. Thank you for the reminder.
You are very welcome.
I forgot night blindness is a thing that happens. As someone who frequently has night blindness because I like to stare at lights a lot. Okay. Who's taking second watch? Is
Brienne
Luthera
will
still
take
awake?
second watch.
Yep. She only needs 4 hours for trance.
How many watches are there total?
Only 2.
Okay, then Natalie might as well help with that.
So there's 3 people awake.
We have 2. 2 shifts, 5 people.
Under
Well, if it's all quiet for our
22.
watch, I hope you have just as quiet.
Sorry, I'm getting under technicality, only sleeping for part of the night I think counts as a nap, correct?
Depends
think
on
that's
how much
cutting in-
is happening during the night.
I think that's more cutting into your sleep.
Well,
The Minuet would probably be camped towards the outer ring of where everyone else would be sleeping, so as to be
You still
not
rolled a
too
5.
close to the fire.
You still rolled a 5.
No.
And you've now implied that you're keeping track of these things. So
Yes.
now I get to be your tormentor.
I know.
As someone who also implied the idea of nightmares onto their character, yes. So here's what happens for all of you. Actually, what did you all roll for perception? Doesn't have to be very high.
22.
It was a 5. But...
24.
21.
All right. Although Naminue is a bit further away from you than is perhaps comfortable for some of you, especially considering that she's bordering on being outside of the range of the light of the fire, all of you notice that she's starting to shake and shudder and start to mutter in her sleep.
Lithera watches for a few minutes.
Brienne heads over tentatively.
I'd be careful.
Let's say. Does calm emotions work when someone's sleeping?
Ooh.
Doesn't say it doesn't.
True.
Technicality.
If they're sleeping, then they probably wouldn't be able to fight against
It does only work for a minute, though, and it only suppresses instead of getting rid of.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be 1 minute of the nightmare, which...
Depends on what you want to do. Well,
Okay.
you do notice that she's definitely not having a good sleep.
Well, Brienne will cast calm emotions.
Okay. Because she's asleep, I'll say there's no roll needed, because there's no active will to fight against it.
Okay.
So, Naminue, for a little while you're sleeping, the nightmares actually get a little bit better, just for a little while, and you think you're safe from it. And as soon as the spell ends, you're worse off than when you started. And she is starting to thrash and move and kick.
Should we wake her up?
You're welcome to try, but I would do so with something at a far distance. Someone with that sort of torment you do not want to touch.
Should we yell or...
If you want to blade at your throat, perhaps.
Do anyone have a pole?
I could...
I'm sorry, that made me
Maybe we should have woken her up while she was under calm emotions. Just putting it out there.
Cole's still asleep throughout this.
We had a window of opportunity.
I could cast Mage Hand.
That will be funny to watch. Please do it. That will be very funny to watch. Please do.
I honestly can't tell if you're being sarcastic or if you're recommending.
Just go with both. Luthera just smirks in the light of the campfire.
Rand shrugs. I can't tell either.
Mm. As a
Wait. What if I cast create water on top of her?
that'd be very weird.
You do what you want. You can certainly try.
Luthera closes her eyes very tight, hearing that. Just. Mm-hmm.
Brainstorming. No bad ideas in brainstorming.
That is debatable.
As a light green hand extends out of Natalie's and very shakily and slowly goes over to poke at Naminue.
Rand steps in front of Natalie just
So
slightly.
how close are you? How close are you to her?
As far away as possible, so, well, 30 feet unless that would extend past the campsite.
She's about on the border, so about 20 feet away from you. If your back is to her, then you're 20 feet away, but if you're facing her, you're 30, because you're on the other side of the campfire.
Well, yeah,
Depends on where you want to be. So, you're about 30 feet away.
Yep. As the mage hand does a poke, and if that doesn't work, starts shaking her shoulder.
Initially, the poke doesn't work, and instead there's just another kick. But as soon as you start shaking her shoulder with the mage hand, she jolts awake and grabs her great axe right next to her and starts swinging at screaming die spiders at the top of her lungs.
Anyway, calm down. It's just us.
Anyway, roll just a straight d20 for me.
Nat 20.
So, you hear Natalie's voice from the depths of being woken up from your nightmare. There's no spiders here. It's just Natalie and Lucera and Ryan and Cole still sleeping.
So it'll sound something like this. Die spider! Oh, hey there.
The mage hand waves from right next to Naminue, as Natalie does the same. We saw that you were having a bit of a night terror, so we thought we'd get you out of it.
Well, thank you. I kind of have those kind of frequently, but I try not to let too many people see things all the same. She heads back to go back to sleep. Question.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
How bad of her besides the spider spots, how badly of a memory would it have been for the nightmare?
Probably of her kidnapper. And her betrayal.
Okay.
Luthera watches Naminue for a moment and then calls out, "That sort of shadow over your mind will take care of you far faster than an enemy will. Are you certain you want to be so far from the campfire?"
Yeah, well, if I'm a bit further from the campfire, it is also harder for them to see me, you know.
As you wish.
If you want some company, I could move my... Wait, are we at sleeping bags?
Yeah, you have bedrolls.
Bedrolls are.
Bedrolls.
Ah, yes.
A little bit more comfy. Just a little bit.
I could move my bedroll over to where you are, if you want.
You can also sleep in the back of the wagon. Just letting you know that.
Nocturnal creatures tend to not need firelight to see you.
Luthera just looks over towards Natalie, making this sort of like hush motion.
The Minuet would probably fall asleep fast again.
After a nightmare like that? Are you sure?
Yeah, because she's used to it.
Hmm. I don't know about that, but if you're certain.
I'm sure. You have nightmares almost every other night. You get used to falling back asleep quick.
Not
A
really.
few of the people that I know that have white night terrors, you're up for the rest of the night.
Not me.
Night terrors and nightmares are different things. Nightmares you can push aside. Night terrors, however. Nightmares I could say you could probably brush off after like 20 minutes and go back to sleep. But night terrors, you carry that fear with you for the rest of the night.
Should I roll to see if it's a night terror or just a nightmare?
As the one who explained it in the role you gave me, it was a night terror.
Okay.
So you try and fall back asleep, but the terror still is in your chest and in your throat, and you swear if you fall back asleep, you're going to be attacked by something. So you can't fall back asleep the rest of the night.
Okay.
So are you still going to be in hiding away from the group?
Yeah. She'll just keep an eye out towards the edges to make sure nobody sneaks up.
Okay. So the night otherwise goes fairly well. There's a couple of rustling that, Lacera, you look over and it's just like a bunny or a smaller rat. Nothing to be concerned about. Just something looking in because, ooh, there's light. But morning comes rather easily. There's no problems. There's nothing to be concerned with. Cole does sense that something happened during the night, though, and just gives all of you the look of what I missed.
Lithera just walks past him, claps a hand on his shoulder, and doesn't say anything as she moves past again.
He gives you a very confused look, but doesn't say anything. He just goes to the back of the wagon again and keeps an eye out from behind. So, who's taking point next? It doesn't have to be Natalie and Lithera again.
Good. Lithera is probably... Lithera is going to take her turn in the back, actually taking time to go into trance, because she was on guard all night.
Okay.
And Natalie will probably walk alongside the cart, doing a quick speak with animals to herself to see if any
Using
of
more
the
magic.
Yes, this is one she hasn't used as frequently, thankfully. To try and see if any of them have seen a wyvern around here.
What animals are you trying to speak to?
Which ones can be found around here?
Excellent question. I didn't expect you to actually speak to the animals. I should because you're a druid, then. I'd say because this is a well-traveled area, that there's not a lot of animals that come near close enough. You'd actually have to veer off the path a little bit to find any animal that is willing to come near to talk to you. Yeah. Because there's so many people going through this area that they just don't want to get close just in case some people want to hunt for pelts or for food.
That's fair.
So the only animals that are near you right now are probably your horses.
Mm.
And I would say they don't seem, the ones that you do encounter are like rabbits and some very small wolves that immediately run as soon as they see you because they're small and not big enough to attack you. So they don't even bother with you.
Mm. In that case, Natalie, not wanting to worry the group by getting too far away, will give up on that idea. Just walking alongside the horses.
For your question, lady, there's a couple, but they immediately go into a nearby tree and just hang out for a while. Lady? If you're talking, I can't hear you.
You might want to reset, Vry. I can hear Lady.
I can hear Lady too.
Christ.
That better, right?
Yeah, it's better now. What? Yeah,
I was going to say, as soon as she saw any of the birds, she would use her gnome feature of speak with animals size small and smaller, and ask for one of them to come so she could ask them a question in those words.
roll animal handling. This is going to be the bane of my existence. I swear to God.
Make just as many
17.
animal NPCs as you do people.
I don't want to.
Too bad.
I don't want to.
17.
You have a utility party. Too bad.
Son of a bitch. Anyway.
Your utility caster is a druid. I'm not sure what you're expecting here.
Okay, so a relatively small bluebird comes up to you and just chirps at you, curiously. It cut off for me.
Yep.
Same.
I have heard nothing.
Either you're letting go of push to talk too early or your mic just sucks. I don't know if you're on push to talk is the problem. Oh, so you're asking the same question that Natalie was going to. Okay.
Yes.
I'd say because you're still quite a ways away from Wyvern Tor, the answer you get is, why would there be wyverns around here? It's too close to the city.
Well, thank you anyways, small bluebird. Please have a good day.
It chirps at you and flies away. So, next 3 days, I'll just have you guys just generally all roll perception instead of going at the pace that I was for every 3 days of this. Everyone roll perception.
16.
That was a nat 20.
Oh, great.
Modified.
So, being downstairs to take medicine, I rolled on the dice channel, but my dice are not about it. So I got a nat 1.
Well, I guess it's counterbalanced to the nat 20s that decided to happen.
Mhm.
So, Ryan, you're just dazzled by the sudden flock of small birds that decided to come over to the cart and land directly on you because you're big blue and look just like them, except bigger, and you're not paying attention to shit.
Ryan's delighted but scared.
I'm just giving you all the animal interactions because you're just an animal lover at this point.
Yeah. There are some other animals.
I feel like Ryan is having a moment of tearing up and going, I can't hold all of these birds.
are too many. My hands are too small.
Okay.
So, Lazara, what's your total?
I told you I got a nat 20.
That doesn't. What is your total?
Yeah.
28.
So, Lazara, you hear the faint sound of "my hands are too small" in the back of the wagon with you.
First you had a drunk gnome, now you have a high dragonborn.
I'm traveling with idiots.
At any point, did Lazara move to the front of the wagon?
Yeah, she would have taken her turn.
Okay.
But
So,
for the most part, she usually ends up with a pattern, I guess, of during the night she keeps watch, and during the day she'll take 4 hours before
okay.
doing whatever.
I need to roll a
Don't
5.
forget that.
And this
He's just paying attention to Ryan being like, I can't hold all of the birds.
And each Saley has Natalie guiltily casting conjure animals with extension. Looking at Lethera.
Lethera gives her a very long look, and I think one of the days she's going to put just a hand out and then conjure animals instead.
Okay. So you take one of the days?
Yes.
Okay. I am keeping track of this, by the way.
No, 2 people can do this. You don't have to do all of it. Rest.
Oh, all right.
Can Rayanne hear that?
Roll a perception for me. I still need to get to what Lethera had, so for your 28, you start to see signs of struggle. It's very faint, but it's definitely like there's measures taken to cover it up. But it's just faint enough to see that it didn't last very long. But there was definitely a scuffle that happened around this area, and you're about halfway to Red Larch at this. That's what you noticed, Lethera. Oh, honey.
What time is it?
Oh, Discord broke on you?
Yes.
So you didn't hear anything of what I said?
Nope.
So you see faint signs of struggle. Like there was effort to cover it up about 2.5 days into your journey. You're about halfway to Red Larch, and there's signs of a struggle that didn't seem to last very long from what you can tell of it, but there was effort to cover it up.
Lethera frowns and jumps out of the wagon to check the tracks better.
The Minuet would most likely have seen, but have figured it didn't pertain to her group, so would have just left it alone.
I'd say, Ryan, you don't hear the exchange between Lethera and Natalie at that point.
Yeah, that's a 7.
That's a 7. That's a 7. No. So roll survival for me, Lethera. Did I forget how Natural Explorer works?
You forgot how Natural Explorer works.
Fuck. I hate it. I hate it so much. Ugh. Okay.
Wait.
Okay. So through your looking at the tracks and how many sets of footprints there were, you can, from what's not perfectly covered, you can see about...
Even if I had rolled for it, it would have been a 26. So. You're welcome.
Anyway, You can see about 8 to 12 sets of footprints that are all mangled over each other. And you see that there are patterns in the grass leading to the small forested area that you've been traveling alongside that looks like something was dragged through it. Leading to the forest.
Do I get to call bullshit like Detective Holmes moment?
Do you?
Can I? With the 26? Or no?
I mean, as much as I would love to say that my DC is that high, it's really not. Really not. I really should set higher DC for level 12. I don't. Because I'm nice. And then I forget that you have bullshit fucking modifiers. Anyway.
It's not even Garrick. Come on.
Shit. You do not talk about him. Anyway. As you follow the indications of something being dragged through, you go a little bit into the forested area where it leads, and there are definitely broken branches and leaves, and now there are actual animal tracks around this area, and there is a partially rotted corpse sitting almost completely hidden if it weren't for your roll. There was great effort put into hiding this particular corpse, and it has been picked clean.
What kind of corpse? Is it animal? Is it person? Is it...
It is humanoid.
Oh, good. Great.
But you don't see any other corpses or anything else.
Sarah frowns at it for a minute. Wanders back out of the forest in order to take a look at the other tracks to see which direction they might have gone in.
They are headed north, the same direction you are. You actually see some of the tracks stop at the edge of the road, and then you see more fresher wagon tracks leading north.
Looks like things are going to get interesting. And Lithera steps back onto the wagon.
Cole looks at you and is like, find anything interesting?
Just a cold.
That's usually interesting.
You found a what?
A corpse. Picked clean, actually.
Oh. Oh.
Poor Natalie.
Oh no.
Yikes.
Lithera motions towards all of the mess of the ground and goes, looks like they were headed the same way we are. Looks like they also dragged a cart out, so this will be fun.
We need to work on your definition of fun.
My
As long as
definition
I
of-
get to smash something.
My definition of fun is very different. However, again, this will be fun.
Well,
I think that it sounds fun so far, but
you know, without stakes, nothing is rewarding. So
I hate natural explorers so goddamn much. I want you to know that. I do. I hate it. Because you're in grassland and you're near forest, so I can't get you out of that situation. I can't.
Hi, it's like I adventured here before.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
So, shall we roll anything else before our next?
You can roll whatever you want. Just tell me what you're rolling and why for. Because this is about 2.5 days into this leg of the journey.
Lithera's just going to grin over at Natalie and Rhiannon and go, just think of it this way, it's a mystery and we need to solve it.
No, we don't need to do anything about it. It don't pertain to us. We've got wyverns to bludgeon.
Lithera gives Diminue a very odd look.
Well, if we're going to Red Larch, then we can...
Why do I have
if we
hot
find
glue
someone
on
who's...
my desk? Sorry.
If we find a group that's stolen a cart, we can bring them to the authorities in Red Larch, and it will all be taken care of.
I
Right?
didn't say they
But
stole
it
a
has
cart.
nothing to do with us.
It has everything to do with us.
Oh, no.
What? How's it to do with us when we don't even know who it is?
Lithera just gives Diminue a further look and says, that's a dead body. Whether it is a civilian or not is our problem. Unless you would like to argue otherwise.
Rand pipes in. Do you think it's been dead for more than 10 days?
You could certainly
Right.
check. You could
I
certainly
would know
check.
that.
Fuck
Right.
you.
I
Fuck
would know that.
you.
Hey, Bri.
I'm just saying.
No, it's Nini's fault. It's Nini's fault. It's nothing of yours.
Guess what?
Ray's
Okay.
dead. Ray's dead.
Okay. So, Lysera, you would know it's been dead for about 4 days.
Lithera just waggles a hand. 4 days?
Do we want to ask them?
Natalie's
you
gonna
have a
roll
way-
Arcana to
Do
see
you have
if
a
she
way
knows
to
what he
keep
might
the
mean.
dead from lying?
Well, I mean, I don't know how.
Do not see how to affects us at all, as it could just be mercenaries doing their job. You never know.
Well, but I mean, I do have Zone of Truth, but I don't know how quickly you can cast two things in a. I don't think that's a lot of casting things.
Lithera is just going to rub a hand over her face and then get
Well-
back out of the cart. Well, we might as well investigate.
Zone of Truth should work, I believe.
Alright.
Question: was there a time limit on our bounty?
No.
Just the first to do it.
Yeah. Whoever picked it up essentially at the guild was the one to do it. There was no time limit. I did that on purpose because you guys take forever.
Fair enough.
Hey, we still got plans for an owl balloon.
Pardon?
The sooner we
so
get
tired.
to where we need to go, the sooner we can get paid.
Again, Lithera looks over her shoulder at Naminue and shakes her head. If you keep talking like that, I'm going to leave you where you stand.
I agree with. I mean, we have enough time. I feel like we've got to at least try. I don't.
Yeah.
Naminue just starts rubbing her forehead like, non-mercenaries. She doesn't say
Cole is
anything,
actually-
but she has that look on her face.
Naminue, you actually catch Cole giving you much the same look as Lysera is, but much wilder, as if it hadn't even occurred to him that they wouldn't try to at least figure out information.
Besides, if they're ahead, then we might have to encounter them anyway, so no time lost?
Question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to roll to see if my headache has gone away or not?
You still have it. You're practically in withdrawals right now.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I thought so. That's why I was doing her that way, but
It's a good way to do it. It'll get some weird looks, but it's nice.
So what are you guys doing? Are you moving on?
Well, first, I think we're still asking the dead.
Yeah.
Sarah
Or
leading
try
them
and-
over to it? They don't know where it is. Okay.
and the Minuet stays with the cart so it doesn't get stolen.
As does Natalie, so she doesn't have to see a dead body.
Good character choice. So, do you actually have the spell to do that today? Because you're supposed to reset it every day. You don't have to, technically, but you reset your spells and choose differently every day.
I'm using the same ones for the time. Oh, you mean, yeah.
There's a cleric.
Clerics and wizards, same premise. So you can have prepared it if you'd like. I'm just asking, do you have it today?
Oh yeah, I put Raise Dead.
Now, is Raise Dead the same as Speak with Dead?
No.
Wait, did I do the wrong one?
Here's the fun thing. I
I'm not
very smart.
need you to roll Arcana to see if you know the difference.
Oh, no.
Because you're a new cleric.
What?
All right, let's just do that.
Oh no.
Where did?
You're a new cleric. You've not been at this very long.
Where did my dice? Wait, I sorry, I need to find my dice.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Oh, wait, no, I don't think you can Zone of Truth with Raised Dead or Speak with Dead.
Mm-hmm. You can't. One goes away for the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
The casting time is too long.
One problem at a time.
It's alright, I'll just trust them. Alright, 11 plus 3 is 14.
I'd say you have this feeling that maybe Raised Dead isn't quite what you're looking for, but you could give it a try, maybe? But something doesn't sound right in your head to use Raised Dead.
I mean, you can speak with the Raised Dead. It's fine.
Yeah, I was thinking Speak with Dead might be more what you want.
Sarah and Cole both see this, like, debate of, do I have that? on her face.
Do I have Speak with 1 second? I'm not very good at this. Oops.
Cole actually goes, you sure you can do that? You seem to be hesitating.
I swear I had Speak with Dead.
Sarah just looks skyward like, someone save me, please. When whatever higher plane you are, someone please save me.
You don't get an answer.
It does not appear that I think I might have put Raise Dead in my thing instead of Speak with Dead, so.
You didn't prepare it today.
Yeah, I did not.
Dear God.
Do we want a friend or
A very thankful friend, maybe? We'll find out.
yeah.
That's up to you guys.
I'm pretty sure that Sarah and Cole are just standing there like, what the fuck is she debating about? It's talking to the dead person.
There are two ways to talk with dead people, and one of them is to make them not dead anymore.
Rhea slightly debated
Mars,
it would make a complete idiot.
I would say, based on your role, that you would definitely be hesitant about using Raised Dead versus the one that you're looking for. Specifically because the wording on that spell seems a bit off for just talking to them. If you rolled high enough. Literally just high enough. I set that DC immediately to like 14, and I was like, oh, you just barely succeeded. Of maybe I shouldn't.
All right, so she's thinking maybe this doesn't seem right. She's currently trying to figure out whether it'll make her look incredibly dumb to ask anyone else. But she also kind of internally thinks that if she admits that she paired the wrong spell, it'll look bad. And she decides to take a chance that this is the right thing.
Even with knowing?
Does she fully know it's the wrong thing, or just it feels wrong?
You beat the DC, so you do know that this is probably the wrong spell that you prepared.
Ah.
It's just one of those things of it takes a while to click, and you're just like, does that work? No, it doesn't.
Take an hour.
No, it's about 10 minutes of is this the right spell? It's like the fucking gears clicking in the head.
I mean, if you started casting, then it would take an hour to complete Raise Dead and 10 minutes to complete Speak with Dead. So if the other two know both spells,
yeah.
well enough, you would
minutes.
realize 10 minutes in, wait a minute, it's not done yet?
The fun thing is, she's never cast this spell before.
Yeah, she wouldn't.
Yeah, but if Lithera or Cole
but the other
know
two
the other
might.
spells, if they've seen it often enough.
Cole definitely has seen it before. So, that depends on what you want to do. Do you want to still do it and risk looking a little bit foolish if it doesn't work?
Yes.
Great.
She's trying. She's trying her best.
I'm gonna die here.
Now, the action economy of spells that you get interrupted with, is it a DM thing of if you lose the spell or not? The spell slot?
Of an interrupted spell?
Yes.
I think that's DM economy.
Yeah, I don't think there is an explicit rule on that for 5e.
Fucking God Christ. Okay.
This is when it comes to the components.
It's not lacking their head or anything, are they?
I don't know. Are they just picked clean, as you said? So then thinking it's probably just bones.
Pretty much. It's bones. It's almost completely bones by now.
Alright, I don't know if it'll work.
Good.
It closes all mortal wounds, but if it's lacking body parts or organs integral for its survival, its head, for instance, the spell will fail.
Oh, if it's lacking all organs, then it will not have organs.
Unless no organs counts as a mortal wound. I figure, because its head can't be detached.
I'm pretty sure you can just pick up the head at this point.
Are the organs attached and just wounded, or?
If it's just a skeleton, there's no organs left, and they don't get restored. So
it would remain dead.
They would wake up to find that they're a skeleton and then die immediately.
Well, they wouldn't
No,
wake
it
up.
automatically fails.
It automatically fails, yeah.
I would say you don't know the full extent of what happens if certain things are missing, but you definitely know that there's prerequisites for most of this.
Yeah. Alright, so does it automatically fail?
You don't know that. Not in character.
Oh.
So you can definitely try.
Okay. Brienne tries.
Oh no. I said you could try and I'm still disappointed.
Oh.
It's fine. So you were going for Speak with Dead, right?
No, I was going with Raise Dead. I don't have Speak with Dead prepared.
Yeah, that's the fun thing. Someone here used to know a cleric. 0. His Arcana is 0. Okay. Yeah. About 10 minutes into this, Ryan, Cole puts a hand on your shoulder and goes, I don't think that's the right spell. Just a gut suspicion. So you are interrupted. I'd say it doesn't waste your spell slot because it's only 10 minutes in.
What about the components?
The diamond?
Roll a d20 for me.
Sorry. 10.
Well,
I'd say they are consumed this time.
Okay.
ooh. There goes a whole ass diamond.
Oh, no. Ryan looks
You don't
very...
lose the spell slot, though. That's nice.
That's good.
You just lose the component. Because you were interrupted.
Ryan looks a little bit very, very defeated. And stutters out a nonsensical excuse for why this is not working. And then it turns back. And just keeps walking until in embarrassment and shame.
Aw, you have an embarrassed dragonborn. Well, Sarah, I want you to roll just a straight d20 for me.
Nat 20.
Stop! Actually, you know what? Natalie and Aminue, you can also roll.
Oh, okay.
What am I rolling?
D20.
Straight d20. Don't add anything to
4.
Nat 1.
I also rolled a nat 1 for Cole.
Oh my god.
Lysera, somehow you're the only person that catches on that she's probably really new to the whole cleric gig. Like, extremely new, within the last year. That she's actually...
Cole, who's standing nearby, gets to just watch her face, like, more from realization to, oh no, we're gonna die.
Cole looks at you and goes, what's with the face?
Lysera just winces and goes, we may be going to a temple quite often. And then starts walking after Rhiannon.
Great. Cole's going to take point on the front of the wagon and just keep an eye on everything. If you guys are
how did
continuing
go?
onwards.
Did you learn anything?
Not a damn thing.
Oh?
Ryan grumbles something that's literally not even words and gets in the wagon.
Minue will take her turn at driving the coach.
Was they unresponsive or?
Lysera just looks at Natalie and just shakes her head and then gets into the car.
Oh, all right.
You have a baby cleric.
That shake of it's not worth it.
I'm just gonna roll a quick insight to see if Natalie catches on. That's a modified 10.
You catch on that she's trying to convey something a little deeper, but you're not exactly sure what. Like, there's a point to what she's trying to do and express to you, but you're not quite catching on. You're a bit confused.
So what? Were they unresponsive?
Rand is glaring steadily at the ground and would be blushing if Dragonborns could blush, which I doubt they can.
She's sitting in the back
Will
just being like
her
Stannis.
tongue be doing that snake thing?
Yes.
The blank. The sip sip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mhm.
We're all going to die.
What?
And Luther's the only one
appropriate
who's
response.
realized it.
Brienne looks a little hurt by that, but...
Sarah's just
Question, do you hear it? Because I think they're more towards the front.
So did you find something out? Is it a problem? Is it something to deal with? Or
Sarah is just going to lean back against the side of the cart and pull her hood down over her eyes like, nope, I'm not part of this anymore.
All right, are you guys moving on?
Yes, and the
What a
Minuet
reveal,
will
huh?
have started.
Dear
Lucera.
God! Dear God!
Which god?
Yes,
Plenty of them!
yes. Which god? Yes.
Anyways, and the Minuet will have slapped the reins and started the wagon moving.
Okay. Cole is seeing that there's a bit of tension with all the people in the front. He's just going to take a seat in the wagon and just look at Rayanne as if he's trying to figure her out, but can't quite figure out why she's suddenly embarrassed and being a little.
So, Rye,
yeah.
knowing the Minuet,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want me to roll to see if this directionally challenged gnome drives us in the proper way?
I'm pretty
Natalie
sure the
continues
rest of your
walking
party will
alongside
be
the
like,
horses.
nope, wrong direction.
Yeah, Natalie continues walking alongside the 4 horses.
Anyways, what do you want me to roll to
Technically,
see how...
you wouldn't be the one controlling them, it'd be Natalie.
Yeah.
So you can flap the reins all you'd like, but they won't move unless Natalie says.
Yeah, they're conjured, so they just follow the directions given.
Unless Lucera had summoned them that day. Then it's Lucera's go.
That's true.
That's between you two.
Depends on the day.
Depends on the day. But do we want to make this funny, considering Lucera just covered her eyes, or do we want to get somewhere?
If you want to be, if you know what, I'm always up for funny. Go for
Let's
it.
do it. Lucera conjured them, so roll.
Should I roll a straight D20?
Oh, shit.
It's an animal handling check, technically.
Wait a minute. Will they see that as a
I get
threat?
a 19.
Will they see that as a threat they need to defend themselves from?
Oh, God.
It's okay. The Minuet got a 19.
Is 19 good enough to command the horses for Lucera's conjured animals? Because I'm sure Natalie's conjured animals are a little bit more lenient, and then there's Lucera, who's probably like, bitch.
Excuse me? Who said you could do this thing to me? Excuse
Natalie's
me?
face spirits are friendly. Lucera's will kick you in the face.
Pretty much.
It's up to you if 19 beats that DC.
Oh, yeah. You're good.
So, I'm assuming with the help of Natalie keeping you on track, you head in the direction again. I need all of you to roll perception for me.
Do you need me to roll perception?
Do I?
6.
All right. Natalie has 21 and Russet has 15.
Let's see. I get a double time my perception bonus.
Guys, you wouldn't believe what I rolled.
Oh,
21?
honey. Ooh. Ooh.
Let's go on.
I question. Oh, God. Okay.
She got another nat 1. Poor Rye.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm not that much better, but because of my stupid modifiers, I got a 19.
Oh, so Natalie has the highest at 21. That's new.
Yeah, I rolled really low for Cole. I rolled a 2.
Nope. Everybody rolled low.
Help me.
Finally,
Well,
Natalie notices
Other than
something.
Natty.
About on the 9th day, Natalie, you actually see dried blood across the road. A lot of it.
Yep. And as we get closer, the party just sees Natalie freeze in place and back up away from the horses.
Actually,
and
I think
eventually
Lysera and
catch up.
anybody that got above a 15 would also notice, because it's a lot. It's a large scuffle
So that would
area.
be Naminue.
And Cole. Ryan is the only person not paying attention right now.
Again.
Do I see any small birds around?
No.
Lithera is once again going to jump out of the cart in order to inspect the battle.
I guess Naminue will help her this time, just in case it's a wavering
You don't need
kill.
to. She's a natural explorer. She can do whatever the fuck she wants.
I told you, you have a utility team.
This is true. This is true.
Haha!
So, Lysera,
Yes.
although Naminue does try to help, you mostly catch on to all of this by yourself. There was 10 people in this particular scuffle, and there were 2 very poorly hidden bodies off the side of the road, not quite in the forested area. It's like they were in a rush to leave. And once again, there's the blood across the road, and you can see burn marks. Like there was an explosion that happened in the middle of the road.
Are the bodies burned?
One of them is. Badly.
Pardon?
One of them is, very badly.
Okay.
And these bodies are less than a day old.
Lithera will take a moment to follow some of the footsteps, at least with her eyes, and skip over 1 or 2. And go, well, this is getting very interesting. 2 dead of 8.
Natalie's now hiding in the cart.
You can definitely tell that there was a total of 10 assailants rather than the 12 that you spotted before. So there's definitely less this time around.
Lithera looks back towards where they came. Did I miss a few bodies? A little curious as she looks back down the path, but otherwise shrugs.
Rand says, it feels sort of disrespectful to just leave them here.
I think that's half the point, she mutters before looking at the dead. She does, however, bow and say a quiet prayer to them.
Okay.
Rand says a prayer too and hopes it's enough.
Ryan, roll religion for me at disadvantage.
Oh, God.
Damn it.
You're the one that set this up for me.
Yeah.
You have done this
This
to
is
yourself.
why you need a shovel.
You're at a 15, so that's not 18.
At
Or not
disadvantage?
19, modified 18, sorry.
At disadvantage.
Disadvantage?
Disadvantage. I forgot.
Uh-oh.
See, I rolled a 5 there. Plus 3.
That's the point.
There we go.
Fran, when you're praying this time, you feel this overwhelming presence of light disappointment. with your prayer.
Aw.
Nothing else.
Man. Tries not to react visibly to that, but gets back in the wagon.
What's your passive perception, Lucera? Because she was right next to you.
Passive perception is 18.
You would definitely notice the drop of her posture in like kind of like regret or being sorrowful over something and then leaving.
Sarah watches her go for a moment. And then looks skyward as if asking, is this really what this is about? And then sets off back towards the cart to get on it. Actually, no, she's deciding to walk beside it this time.
Okay.
Just in case she misses another scuffle. Because, yay, dead bodies.
And Natalie stays inside the cart because, yay, dead bodies.
So Cole's going to lead this time around. So whose animals are they?
Well, we did say they were. Oh, this is 9 days in.
Yep.
Just roll a d20. Highs Natalie, lows Lothera.
Sure.
That's a 10. Technically low half.
And I rolled a 3, so apparently.
Oh. But there it is.
Okay. Are my dice okay? What did I do? What did I do? Okay. It takes Cole a few seconds to get the horses to listen to him, but eventually, after like 5 minutes, and being a little gentler than his normal presentation of himself goes, he gets the horses. How am I gonna do this? This is an excellent question. This has went interestingly so far, is the fun thing. So about 2 more days pass, and Lucera, are you still beside the cart?
Yes.
Roll perception for me.
Okay.
There's my natural 20. Hello!
Yay!
And conversely, nat 1. Even with natural explorer.
A nat 20 when it doesn't matter.
Damn.
So Cole pulls on the reins and gets the horses in the wagon to stop and stares out to the left and squints. I can see you. You're not doing very well.
Is someone out there?
I need the rest of you to roll perception now. With advantage because he pointed someone out there.
That is a modified 20.
That is a 9 for an Emmanuel.
Russet is put away because of imminent danger.
Ryan?
Oh, don't worry. I got a 3 first time, which was not great, but I re-rolled, and I got a 5, so we're at 8.
Are you okay?
No!
Clearly not.
See, everyone needs a no good, very bad day eventually.
Lythera, you can re-roll your perception because he pointed something out.
$20.
You don't see anybody over there. Just grass and a couple of trees, which are starting to fade now that you're getting closer to the middle of Deathrin Valley. You don't see anybody. And Cole's just looking over there with the most unimpressed look, as if someone had just tried and failed to insult his family. I think we're going to be meeting up with whoever has been causing trouble on the road.
Oh no.
Lythera looks up at Cole and goes, fun, and draws her bow.
Actually, with a 20, you would have seen the slight, ever so slight, like someone's trying to keep it from being noticeable as something that is man-made. Like a small stack of smoke, like from a campfire of some sort. It's far off, though.
Okay.
Do you think we should get going or go a little bit by foot on the side? From Cole to you, Lythera.
Do you think we can outpace them?
I think they're down and out for right now, or at least taking a break from what I can see.
Do you think we could take them by surprise?
Do we need to?
Depends. They have left a few dead bodies. No, let's go into town and ask around first. Then we'll figure out if we need to go hunting.
Just to be clear, you are probably going to run into these people that he's speaking of before you get to town. You're about a day's ride out from Red Larch.
It's worth a shot.
Okay. So you're trying to head into town first?
Yep.
Cole looks at you curiously, but takes your lead nonetheless.
Natalie worries from inside the cart.
Fair enough. So I need one more perception roll from all of you.
Lythera still has her bow out and ready.
Modified
Why?
20 again.
I get a 2.
Somewhere in the 2 feet vicinity to me, but I cannot find it, so we're gonna...
You got a 2. That's unfortunate.
Guys, I got
me.
Okay, so Natalie being stressed as shit.
But Naminue does have the alert feature.
Can't be surprised.
I think Raya needs glasses.
Are you okay?
Said my thing.
Are you okay?
No.
I think you should just use your dice at this point.
I used my dice for the last perception check.
Naminue has the alert feature. If
I know.
Helps negate the 2.
I never said there was going to be any surprise. Who rolled above an 18?
Always alert to danger. Me.
Natalie did.
And with my Nat Explorer, it wouldn't have mattered if there's danger.
Oh yeah, you can't be surprised on the road.
Yep.
So, as you continue down the road, Lythera, Natalie, and Cole all notice that stack of smoke stops and is put out, as if it was just blown by a huge gust of wind. And there is a bit of forest still remaining by the time you reach what was a campsite. And it seemed like people were definitely sitting down and taking a break here. But it looks used and reused as if this is a pit stop before the town. And Lucera, you rolled a 21, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just barely out of the corner of your eyes, you and Cole both see someone duck into the tree line and hide behind one of the trees, just staring at you from behind it. Just put up, shrouded in cloth and just barely visible.
Lucera is quick to knock an arrow and draw her bow, aiming. I'd come out if I were you. I don't miss.
Roll intimidation.
Oh,
That's intimidating.
Naminue's going to help and brandish her great axe.
That is a 19.
Ryan is also going to help and say, yeah!
Do I get advantage
Should
from the weird
Naminue
track?
roll intimidation?
I'd say Lucera can roll with advantage thanks to Naminue. I would have given disadvantage for Ryan because your voice squeaked on that. But do with an advantage.
Well, guess what? My highest roll was still a 19 because I have a +0 to intimidation.
Okay.
19.
Wow, how is Natalie more intimidating than Lucera?
Hey, Naminue has +7 to both persuasion and intimidation.
Ryan has failed to find her die.
Lucera isn't supposed to be intimidating, other than for people who are doing really stupid things.
That scans.
This is unfortunate. I just rolled insight on this person, and they have high insight modifier, and I still rolled poorly.
Uh-oh.
So, from behind the tree, you see step out a averagely tall human person. It's kind of hard to distinguish male or female. And they pull down their hood very carefully as if they're not sure if they should move or not. They have long black hair that is in definite need of like a thorough wash, and it's greasy and caked with dirt. And you see very clearly fear in their eyes, and they're not saying anything, but they have stepped out from the brush. They're dressed in what you would assume a rogue would wear to blend in with the shadows. They're about 60 to 80 feet away in the brush, but still visible.
Alrighty. Lucera smiles. Ah, good. Good to see you. Might you have anything to do with what's been going on the road?
What do you mean?
Let's see. Signs of fight, few interestingly placed dead bodies off the sides of the road.
That could be anybody. You have to be more specific.
Someone was rather nicely burnt to a crisp.
Just for a split second, you see recognition.
Naminue is going to insight.
You're welcome to try. Go ahead and roll for me.
$19. The dice is looking up for me.
So, Lucera, because you're the one that's technically interrogating, you already see the hint of recognition, but you, Naminue, you see exhaustion and fear and apprehension to speak, as if this person thinks that no matter what they're going to say, they're going to get shot. They don't seem like they're actively trying to be threatening or trying to get away. They just look scared.
Lithera nods slightly and says, "All right, did you have something to do with it? Yes, no, or what can you tell me about it?"
Roll persuasion.
Oh, good.
Are you sure you don't want Nimue asking that?
That was a 4.
Yes. Why do you want to know? Why do you care?
Because quite
Oh,
frankly,
don't
I'd rather
be
know.
like that. And Nimue speaks up. Oh, don't be like that. Why don't you answer her nice questions? I'm sure as long as you let us know truthfully, you won't have to worry about getting shot.
Roll persuasion at disadvantage. Has she already failed?
And T2 being my highest.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? What was yours? My Discord froze.
18 is my lowest roll, with 22 being my highest.
A disadvantage? How? What the fuck?
I've got +7 to persuasion.
I guess. So, what were you trying to get out of person? I can't quite remember. My Discord decided to fuck me over.
Answer the questions and you won't get shot.
I said, oh, don't be that way. Just answer her question truthfully, and I am very sure you won't get shot.
They lower their hands to their sides, but still keep them in a position of, I'm not trying to do anything. We were just protecting the people on the road. We didn't mean for anybody to get killed, but they wouldn't take no for an answer.
You mind explaining?
Haven't you heard of all the ex-heroes that are going rogue and going insane with power?
A little.
You get an odd look as if just the comment of only a little is weird. And for the rest of you, the idea of people, especially ex-heroes, going insane with power isn't exactly new. It's just rather unfortunate. It's definitely been a recurring theme in the past 20 to 30 years or so.
Mm.
They turned into bandits. We were trying to help, and we got screwed over for no reason.
Listening from inside the cart, Natalie's going to do an insight.
You can go ahead.
That's an 18.
They're telling you the exact truth as far as they know it. They're being straight-laced and honest and trying not to get shot.
And Lithera rolled an 18 for insight.
Same.
Just in case.
Same information.
All right.
They seem honest to me. Maybe don't let loose an arrow.
Lithera chuckles and lets her the bowstring relax. Oh, don't worry. I believe him. You cared for telling us more? Maybe we can help.
If you like, we can do it over some hot beverage.
I rolled a 1 on insight. They give you a once over and looks directly at Cole and shrinks back a little bit, but otherwise nods. Just give me a second. I need to tell the others. And slinks back into the forest.
And the Minuet proceed to try and get stuff started for some hot coffee.
There is a previously set up campfire there that you can restart. So
She restarts it and starts the fixings.
after about 10, 12 minutes, 5 other people come out of the forest, 3 of them badly injured, as if they barely escaped a fight with their lives. A very badly damaged dwarf with beat-up armor and a large greatsword. A Firbolg that is struggling to keep the dwarf standing up. And a severely damaged, full-plated human with long brown hair and definitely seen better days with soft green eyes that is looking at all of you as if prepared for another fight, even though she looks down on her luck. And there's
The Minuet motions towards the pot and says, "Help yourselves. I'm sure everyone could use a drink."
the previous human comes out keeping a half-elf with a large floppy hat walking out, and there is a kind of standoffish looking sun elf that is keeping an eye on you with definite scrutiny, keeping a very close eye on all of you, who looks to be the best off of the bunch.
Lythera looks at each of them and digs into her bag of holding, pulling out 5 potions of healing and offering them.
I look at Lythera and go, "Don't we have a cleric for that?"
Natalie peeking out from the cart. Or I could help.
You're welcome to help if you'd like. However, I'm not certain if they would trust that.
Ram says, "I can help. I'm very capable."
Lythera sets the 5 potions of healing well within range for them, and then steps back onto the other side of the campfire.
3 of them reach out and take one of the healing potions and hesitantly uncorks it and drinks it. Are these regular potions of healing?
Yes.
Okay. The 3 that were most badly injured do take theirs, but the other 2 are left out there, and they seem extremely reluctant to take the potion. They're mostly keeping to themselves. The roguish sort that was dressed in all blacks and browns and beat up leathers and looks like they just went through an awful experience, just sits on next to the half-elf who looks like they're dozing off a little bit. Lythera and Natalie, I want you to roll Arcana for me.
All right. That is a 23.
3.
Natalie, you recognize this type of exhaustion as arcane exhaustion from when somebody uses way too many spells way too quickly.
Oh, I know that.
And the Minuet is going to attempt to persuade them to drink the beverages that she's prepared. With
can
this.
try.
Now, come on now there, ladies. This bottle of brew ain't gonna bite you.
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
And that's a 27!
Holy crap.
All of them, after definite moments to ascertain if you're trying to harm them or not, eventually take the beverages that you're offering out to them. But they don't say anything. They're still keeping an eye on Lysera and Cole still has his weapons directly at his hip, invisible, and hasn't moved them away.
Seeing that things are going better, Natalie will leave the cart and start to sit with the rest.
Warning for Natalie, they are just caked in blood and dirt and grime.
Sits behind the rest.
So they are at least in better shape than they were before. And they seem slightly more trusting thanks to the healing potions, but they aren't speaking yet. The rogue is giving you a wary eye, Lysera, because you did threaten them.
I'm pretty sure she expects that. Sorry about the warm welcome. I did notice that, well, your troop was 12 before, right? Or was that part of the bandits?
Thankfully, none of us were lost. Says the rogue, who is still looking between you and between the half-elf who's dozing off. Nearly, but we saved it, and it's been a very, very bad couple of days.
Would you like the blood cleaned from your clothes? It's a bit unnerving.
Natalie, you get a weird look from 3 of them, 3 out of the 6 that are there, as if the idea of cleaning off the blood from a battle is some mix between insulting and just plain strange.
Lysera is giving the same look.
The rogue, however, who does seem to pick up that you're nervous, nods. You're welcome to if you'd like.
As Natalie casts prestidigitation or a few, cleaning off the blood from their clothes, as they, one bit at a time, cubic foot.
That's all.
Natalie's so cute.
Actually, it's an object no larger than 1 cubic foot, so I suppose if you count the clothes as being a total volume of less than that, then it would just be 1 for each article of clothing.
Why did you send me that?
Because it's ambient noise. Why wouldn't I?
I'm getting distracted from all the ambient noises that you keep referring to me.
You're welcome.
As the bloodstains fade away.
I'd say it would take a couple prestidigitation to get rid of all of it.
Oh, definitely.
So it would take a couple minutes while you're doing this. Cole does sit down and go, so you aren't trying to kill everybody on the road? At which point the dwarf goes, why the fuck would we be trying to kill the people we're protecting? That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Oh, hey. So yeah.
Did Lady cut out for you guys?
Yeah.
Sexy.
Oh, a dwarf for you now. I don't suppose you have any good dwarven ale on you, do you?
That
First
gets
the
an odd
drow,
look.
now the dwarf.
That gets an odd look from Luthera.
You assuming that every dwarf has ale on him?
Well, you know, I can be a hoping.
Noted. Just me. Sorry about that. Go ahead and say things if you want to. They're still trying to catch their breath and recover. The dwarf at this point is just trying to ignore you, Nimue. You definitely get the sense that you've insulted him in some way.
And the Minuet just starts inching closer to him like a little bit of an eager puppy that's just, trying to sneak, half sneak.
Really is a dwarf weeb.
And she's got that
Before you
half
get too
little
close,
affected
the
thing.
furbolg that has an axe at his side puts his hand out and goes, I wouldn't if I were you. He's in a bad mood.
Well, all right, I guess. And the Minuet just starts sulking.
I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to that one.
You all wouldn't happen to be on your way to Red Larch, would you?
The druid is the one that speaks up, and she's standing behind the rest of her party with her arms crossed and over her torn kind of. They looked like they were once fancy, but they were makeshifted into something actually functional over cross armor that you can barely see through the jagged cuts in her robes. We're actually headed to Yartar. So Red Larch is on the way.
Oh. We're heading to take care of a wyvern problem near Red Larch, and if others been causing trouble here lately, then it would be better to travel as a group, wouldn't it?
I don't think any of us are all that pleased about running with people whose initial response was to threaten us.
Sorry.
Well, can you blame us after we found all those corpses along the road?
You still would have shot first and asked questions later? That doesn't seem very good for any sort of person. That'll get you
Well,
killed.
we did ask questions. Is why we didn't shoot.
You get the most unimpressed
She
look
didn't
from the sun elf.
first.
Going to shoot.
She didn't shoot first. She had it at the ready just in case you guys were to attack. There is a difference.
She goes to speak again, but the roguish sort puts up their hand and goes, just relax. It's no longer a problem. Look, we're sorry we caused so much anxiety for you. We're just doing our job. Our quarry is already in Red Larch by now, so we're going to get paid by the time we get there.
That seems fair. I don't suppose you've seen where some of these ravens are, if you do not wish to accompany us.
They're all through the northwest of the Desserin Valley. You can find them anywhere. I'm not sure why people are saying to clear it out. It's going to be quite difficult.
Well, maybe I might win myself a pet or two out of them. You know, I can knock them hard.
The Firbolg and the Rogue just snort, and like it's a very poor attempt at hiding the snort when you say that you're trying to attain a pet out of a wyvern.
Lysera just looks tired.
Well, come on, Lithera, you know, a wyvern is a step up from Hellhound.
You did what?
Oh,
Rogue
Lysera
just starts laughing.
The only thing Lysera does is rub her eyes, like, someone please save me from this idiocy.
The Hellhound did.
No, there's no way around it. That was stupid. Lysera finally says, gesturing
I
like
wasn't going to argue for it. I was against.
Lysera sighs. What I wouldn't do for a hippogriff.
Now, why would you want a hypocrite?
Hippogriff, it's one of the creatures we fought in. Best not mention it.
Relatively easy to train and flies.
I'll take a cat or a pseudo-drag. Or a bird. I'm good with any of these things. Worms included. I think
Nimue just starts into a big debate on what would make the best pet with Ryan.
Lysera has this conflicted look on her face, like, I'm not certain if I should smack them each upside the head or try and make certain that they don't hurt themselves.
Personally, Russ has been a great friend to me over there. Looks over to Lysera. Yeah, bites down.
Ryan, I'm just saying, if you can pet it, that's where my standards are at.
Well, Sarah and Cole, both of you notice that with this debate and this going back and forth and the way that you're acting has actually put this group of 6 a little bit more at ease, seeing the non-combative side of you. So they definitely seem more willing to talk now.
Yay.
Turns out being people helps.
Generally. So besides having trouble with bandits, is there anything else we should look out for in this region?
We don't normally frequent the Desserin Valley. We're more from the lands of intrigue ourselves. We tend to avoid the capital, though. Weird shit happens there.
Lysera makes a motion with her head, sort of nodding, of, yeah, yeah.
But, from what we recall of messengers that have come to and fro, apparently there's supposed to be a festival coming through Red Larch and heading to Yartar in the next couple days. So we might stick around for that, but it depends on our time schedule. But we're on a bit of a clock.
What sort of festival?
All of them shrug as if, how are we supposed to know?
Lady, please say that aloud, because oh my god.
Okay. Well, whoever's listening into the background can hear Nimue debating with Ryan saying, for a wyvern, do you think it would survive 4 hits more than a hellhound to tame it? Or would a wolf be more likely to succumb to my love taps with my great axe?
Rand shouts, "Don't hit it!"
Yes, you weren't bothering any of you anymore. I could, uh, I could cast something to heal you if you like.
You get the nastiest look from the dwarf. Just the nastiest look.
If you, up to you. Sorry.
However, the half-elf that was dozing off has now fallen asleep over the course of this conversation, leaning now against the rogue who has sat down next to them. Doesn't seem like they're moving anytime soon. I introduce all of us, but I'm not sure if we're on the level of giving out our names. Apparently there's been trouble with pretenders, changelings actually, roaming around stealing names and whatnot.
That gets a look from Lythera. Changeling. In this area.
What we've heard, at least.
Would it do any harm to share names?
You just hear in the Minuet shout from the background, "If you want my name, you can just call me in the Minuet Onyx Guard."
And Natalie Holostasia.
I'm Rayanne.
The furbolg looks at you, Natalie, as soon as you say your full name and goes, the book place from the Cumber. I've been there a couple of times.
Apparently, I'm glad you've been giving the place business.
You didn't strike me as the adventuring type when I was last there.
Well, I'd been there a while and figured seeing the world might be good.
Why are you rolling? I'm the DM. You shouldn't be scaring me.
Sorry. I'm trying to see which dice will not be an asshole. But that ain't happening.
Rather than just reading about the world, I mean.
You get this really sympathetic look as if he feels sorry for you. You're gonna learn the hard way, huh? Lythera looks like she's eaten something rather sour and is highly annoyed at something that they're talking about. The rogue looks up at you, Lythera, and just goes, you okay over there? No, these idiots were sent towards their death.
What?
By who? You were sent towards your death. Lythera...
What do you mean I was sent towards death?
Lythera just gestures and goes, I've already forgotten whatever queen's name of... I'm not dealing with this. She gets up in a huff and just paces off into the grass, actually starting to forage.
If you meant
she can find anything to eat.
If you went to the assignment where I was going, where you joined us, I went with the Queen with some magic troubles a few times. Well, not more than a few times before.
You were sent on a suicide mission, she calls from wherever she is.
Sorry.
The dwarf who's been giving you a very nasty look, Natalie, actually softens his gaze and goes, no, that sounds about right, lass. With what we've heard about her, she not very good at being diplomatic in that way.
I'll admit it was just about the first assignment that had dangers of that sort, but it's...
Have you not heard about how many times she's tried to do that mission?
There's another call from farther away from Luthera of suicide.
Oh, come on. Of course she didn't send us to suicide. After all, you got me. But I could use with a bit of a little drop or two. I'm a little parched over here.
Could I do a history to see if Natalie would know how many times?
You're welcome to.
Well, that's a nat one, so it makes sense that she fell for it.
Nope.
You know what? Fair enough.
As far as you're concerned, you were the first party to go out there. What are they talking about?
She's assigned it multiple times. I thought we didn't have much information on it. So
She wanted to assign us
fair.
to that place. We weren't stupid enough to agree.
Oh.
There's no pay in the world that's worth that shit.
Well, we came back, so...
Once again from Luthera. I told you! Suicide!
Look, lass, just trust me. There's something off about that place. It's just wrong. I don't think you should trust anybody there.
It's not wrong, it's broken.
Don't know what you mean by that, lass, but sure.
Luthera comes back in a huff, having gathered a few things for everybody, dumps the supplies where everybody can get to them, and then goes, do you have a map?
Yes.
May
Sicily? And he looks over towards the Sun Elf, who has been definitely almost glaring at all of you, still not trusting any of you, but reaches into the haversack at her side that looks like it's barely keeping itself together, and takes out a very large map of what looks like the world, and it seems like it shouldn't fit in such a small haversack, but it does. And she takes it out and hands it over to you.
Is the Sun Elf the druid, or are they two different people?
The Sun Elf is the druid, yes.
How much is she glaring at Natalie? Because I'll remind you that she is a druid that is wearing a metallic breastplate, which
is an elf.
Is a faux pas among the other things that she's done.
You definitely
so
get the feeling that she's trying to ignore you.
Got it.
Like you don't even exist. What are you looking for, Luthera?
Luthera spreads the map out, looking at a few things that might be weird to her, but specifically at the city that they're talking about, and growls at it, and then points at a specific point on the map and says, "That's not here, but this is."
Are you okay? The Furbolg speaks up. That's always been there.
No. 100 years ago, this wasn't here.
Luthera, are you alright?
I'm perfectly fine. Trust me on this one.
Are you, though?
Do any of them respond to the name Luthera, by the way, when Natalie says it?
I actually have to roll individually for all of them. Hold on.
Just seeing how much Natalie has to explain there.
About three of them seem to react with recognition, but not surprise. The other three just go along with it because it's a name.
Primor used to be here. Right here. And she keeps tapping the map. And it's not. That doesn't happen in 100 years.
History check to see if Natalie knows what happened.
You're welcome to try.
So how many
Yeah,
from
Everybody
my
can roll.
team-
Everybody can roll.
How many from my teammates actually drank the coffee stuff that Naminue attempted to cook?
Lucera, I think, went to go get other things because no thank you.
Natalie, I don't think really got close enough to get a drink with the ones that didn't want their clothes cleaned being there.
Cole would have taken one.
Ram's too busy arguing about pets. She's distracted.
So, yeah. That was a 16.
Cole's currently listening in and trying to get as much information as he can, but he is looking at Lucero with that look of he seems like something is trying to click in his mind, but it just doesn't happen. What did you get, Natalie?
You said what rolls to history check?
Yes.
History.
If you're listening in, it's a history check. That's
And I
up to
got
you
10.
whether it's up to you whether or not it's
16.
during your debate that you're listening.
Yeah, Naminue would have listened at multitasked at listening.
So,
She gets a 16.
Natalie?
16 as well.
No. Nothing really jostles the memory of this never not being there. It's relatively new kingdom, sure, but it's been long enough, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Rand's 10 is probably not helping either.
No, as far as you're concerned, it's always been there.
It isn't exactly that recent, I don't think.
Lucera looks like you've just insulted her parents, basically.
Could be wrong.
Actually, Lucera,
Mm-hmm.
you and Cole both see the rogue have this very contemplative look on their face, in their eyes, because most of their face is covered by a mask. And they look like they're deeply thinking about something, but they haven't voiced their opinion yet. Everyone else is having the reaction of, what are you talking about?
Lucera makes a very frustrated motion and goes, "See, it's broken. This was criminal. How do you all think it wasn't?"
I rolled a natural 20 for the rogue, so...
Nice.
They make a gesture of pointing at the map and go, he does have a point. I've always had a weird feeling about this map. Just something off. That's why we've been going to Yartar to see if there's any other maps from the past that have been different. Something's just off. I don't know what, though.
So how many of the ones she tried to help in the opposite group got food poisoning?
What's that?
For those listening in, Niminue's cooking check resulted in a nat 1.
I didn't even ask you to roll. I wasn't even going to tell you to do anything because I would assume that you know how to make basic stuff.
To. Well, she's more adept at cooking when she's drunk than she is when she's sober.
That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
Niminue is a functional alcoholic and a dysfunctional sober.
What was the initial question? What are you asking for? Fucking food poisoning?
Yeah,
Yeah, how many
many
of the
of them
ones
get-
drinking her brew got food poisoning from it?
All of them have
Because
decent
Naminue
constitution, so
had a con save of 19, so she doesn't think it tastes bad.
I mean, it'll probably taste awful regardless, but I'd say maybe 10. DC 10.
all of them succeeded. They're fine.
Okay.
Ones that are
They
drinking.
just think you're terrible at making coffee.
Yeah, they basically just make the face of ew, but they don't say anything because they're trying to be polite and not get shot.
Lythera then just makes the most frustrated motion of frustrated motions and starts rummaging around in her bag holding. I have it somewhere. Where did I put it?
You seem a bit frantic, Miss Lythera. Is everything all right?
Rummage some more, rummage. Ha 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 ha! I found it, and she pulls out again another map and starts laying it out. It looks almost identical, but things are definitely different.
To be honest, that laugh was slightly disconcerting.
Anybody who's
Yeah.
close to Lucero could probably look and see that there's definite differences. The area around the kingdom is complete, and the kingdom isn't there. It's another city. Part of the woods towards the top of the map is just not there. There's a couple of cities that are just outright missing. There's a couple of islands off in the Sea of Swords, that have just vanished for some reason.
I suppose a lot does change in 100 years.
Lythera just gives the most affronted look, like, how dare you even say that? This doesn't happen in 100 years.
Mm. Well, there are changes in when new maps are made, and if there was any illusory terrain about, that can obviously affect maps that just don't check each other.
Lythera gives a very hard glare towards Natalie. I am a guide. If I cannot trust my map, if I cannot trust the stars or the skies that guide me.
Well, the well-traveled areas, paths to the cities and paths between, are often right.
This does not happen in 100 years.
One more time for me, Natalie. Roll history.
God, 13.
She's not making any sense to you.
Damn it.
However, Lythera, you do see that the rogue is looking at you with intent, like they want to say something, but not here.
Changing the terrain by magical means is, well, difficult and not out of the question. If there were a caster between those 100 years that got a little power mad, then they might change the world as they see fit.
Lythera groans, making certain to reach up and scratch at the back of her neck and at the side of it where the Lichtenberg figures are deeply ingrained. This is not a debate. Something like that. Something on this wide of a scale. Unless you get a lich involved, I don't see how that's not something that just happens anymore.
The islands I'm admittedly not sure on. The forests can easily be explained with a druid seeking to expand them via plant growth, and possibly receded. Forest fire may have occurred.
The sun elf, whose name is Cicely before by the dwarf, clears her throat and goes, honey, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Even the most powerful of archdruids can't do something like that. Not without the help of, as Lysera said, a lich.
Hmm.
The
When
gods
say
do not
more
walk
on it then?
anymore. This is impossible.
Then it sounds like something to study. If we get back, when we get to Red Larch, and we get back to the
At this point,
city,
Lysera,
then
you notice that the half elf that was asleep against the rogue has woken up because the rogue is no longer there and is walking away from the group.
we could
Off
find
towards
maps
the forest.
between. See how things have changed and if there were any drastic moments. And if so, maybe records from that time explain what happened.
Lysera just rolls her eyes, giving an exasperated sigh, and rolls up her map, putting it away with a little bit more force than is strictly necessary. Fine, you debate it over. I'm going to go get us a few more supplies. And leaves, following after
right.
the rogue.
Cole follows you, Lysera, because his perception is a little higher than yours. Just enough.
Natalie backs up a bit from the sun elf.
Yeah, now that she's not ignoring you, you definitely feel the disappointment and disapproval of someone who probably doesn't like the fact that you're wearing metal.
Yeah.
Rogue has gone over to the edge of the forest line that's starting to dissipate the closer you get to Red Larch, and just leaning against one of the trees, thinking to himself, staring at the ground.
He looks far too contemplative.
They look up after a bit towards both you and Cole and sigh heavily. It's just one of my old family friends kept talking about some artifact that had the power to alter reality. I thought they were just fucking with me. But the more that you talk and the more that I hear from you, it just keeps bringing it back to that.
An artifact to change reality. It's entirely possible, but very rare. Do you happen to know what they called it?
It escapes me at the moment, I'm sorry. I didn't really listen in when they told those stories.
It's fine.
There's only so much that a child can believe, after all.
On the contrary, I think a child's mind is open to far more. I would certainly wish that theirs were more open to this.
Well, I don't know. I don't think you should be looking into this as much as you are. You could get killed. I nearly did for looking too much into it.
Lysera just chuckles. To sleep, perchance to dream. But I am not afraid of that. I've played my cards, so to speak.
You're quite brave. Maybe
Oh,
stupid.
stupid.
It actually gets a chuckle out of them because you said it at the exact same time. Well, it's at this point that Cole speaks up. I thought artifacts like those had completely disappeared, especially after God stopped roaming the earth. They shouldn't exist anymore.
The Pharaoh just chuckles. Oh, they exist. You just have to be wary on the ones you find. I just got the lightest of boops from my cat. I don't know what to do with it.
Boop, boop back.
He ran the second that he was done.
I tried to roll again to see if the rogue remembered anything, and I got a 1, so that's a no. Sorry. At least you have more information than what you started with.
Yep. The Pharaoh just sighs. Any single person, or each person that might know, the more we know, the better. So, I suppose all of you are traveling to Red Larch. It looks like we may be traveling together.
The Faerun might not like you. And they point towards the still unhappy looking dwarf.
The Pharaoh shrugs. I've worked with worse.
Cole looks a little put off by the idea of a reality-changing artifact, but for the most part, keeping himself together.
Hey, look, magical bullshit.
He doesn't. It's not fair. It's simply fuckery at its finest. Cole's the first to walk away to leave both of you there. The rogue hasn't moved.
Lithera takes a long breath and sighs. Well, if it means anything, at least the moon will guide us.
There's a very slow nod of understanding. And, well, they don't move. They do say, name's Avery.
Name's Lithera. It's good to meet you, for what it's worth.
I won't tell the others that you're part of it here. Or was. They don't need to know.
Whether they believe you or not, I suppose.
One of them is a storybook fanatic, so maybe.
I don't know. If it's who I'm guessing, then perhaps that just is more reason to hate.
At which point the rogue Avery pushes off the tree, pats your shoulder, and walks back to the group. And sits next to the half-elf, who looks very confused and disoriented about the fact that why did their perch leave?
A shoulder pad.
Very comfy. Rogues are apparently very comfy.
Maybe next time you should hug Garrick.
Stop.
Had to. Lithera watches Avery go before doing exactly as she said she would and gathering a few more things to eat to help the fire things like that.
Are they still having a debate about pets? Is that still a thing?
How long do you think they'd be debating that, Ryan?
I think the topic may have changed a few times and then gone all the way back to pets.
Delicious.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
True ADHD fashion.
Exactly.
Please tell me you're making it that you have an ADHD cleric.
Honestly, from the way I've been playing
That
her,
is
yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's
That
even
is the
worse.
trend.
An ADHD baby cleric that doesn't know the difference between spells.
God is really not having it right now with her.
This feels like a level 1 that got to level 12 somehow.
Yeah. It's like, how did we get here?
Raina's trying her best, guys.
Actually, I get to do something.
Sometimes I feel like a level 1 person who somehow got to level 13.
It's fine.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we're all level 1 in real life.
Mood.
Maybe.
I don't know. I've fought Thor.
Oh, good. I think I'm like level 3.
You know, if you can survive a lightning bolt, then I guess you are like a level 5.
With how much I read, I'm probably a level 3 or 4 in real life.
I'm learning how to drive. Does that get me a level up? I'll get my... I just got my permit, so... I think...
So are you bunkering down for the day and staying here with the group?
Yeah, I'm sure at some point, Ryan, the Minuet would have dozed off during parts of the conversation, woke up, started chatting with Ryan about the same topics, and off and on like that.
Yeah.
Ryan keeps talking to her while she's asleep.
And if they're not already planning on hunkering down here, Natalie will try to convince them for the sake of sleeping half-elf.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's
The
a
rogue
move.
is just trapped. Rogue can't do anything. Avery's stuck.
At least Lithera can find everybody food and water. So. And then, of course, as usual, takes watch.
I need a group charisma check.
Flat charisma?
Yeah, I need a group charisma
How
check.
do you do that?
Everybody rolls charisma, and I determine whether or not you fail.
Okay, 16. Nat 20 or nat 1.
No, it's Lithera. Her charisma.
I rolled a 23.
Your charisma, just charisma. Your charisma score.
18.
Yes.
Is your charisma like
I got
plus
a nat
5
20
or something?
plus 3.
Oh my god, you got a nat 20. Fuck!
Yes.
Mine was a 6. Thanks, Lithera.
Right.
Ryan?
I got an 18.
Oh, 8?
Fitting.
Okay, so technically that's 4 successes. Because natural 20 counts as 2. So it takes a little while for them to open up, but they eventually start to regale tales of their adventures and where they've been to, and they talk of the city of Thunbadir, the dwarvish kingdom to the far south. And Nimue, this is familiar to you as it's where you grew up. And they'd tell of all of the adventures and how much fun they had just going around and doing small assortments for all sorts of people and meeting everybody and getting to know them and getting to know what they're like and what their life is like and just talking and getting to know people and things that they've been taught and what they've been given. Some of them actually show off their weapons, like the axe from the Furbolg. He holds it up in that manner of, I'm extremely proud of this thing. It's just a regular axe to you, but he shakes it a little bit to seemingly start to get going, and it starts radiating a dull heat, and it starts turning orange and then bright hot white.
And the Minuet will ooh and ah at the appropriate moments, but she kinda is she kinda is just like doesn't really open up much about the Dwarven Kingdom, as she doesn't want to she doesn't want to know if they've heard bad stories about her or not from there.
You don't hear anything about yourself per se. You do hear that there's a bit of a discontent in the kingdom for some reason, but since they weren't really close to anybody in power, they didn't really know anything. And you hear why they're going to Yartar, and they're apparently trying to help get rid of a greater curse that's on one of their party members that was placed upon them by a cult leader. And they're going to a chapel to get healed of it.
I can remove
Well,
curses.
if we accompany you and help you get to this greater curse off them, you want to help us with these ravens?
The rogue looks at you. Avery looks at you with like concern about whether or not to actually tell you something kind of look. At which point the sun elf, the druid, looks at you with almost pity, says, "That's a little bit out of the way, honey."
And we just shrugs and sighs and go back to talking about best pets to get from the Dwarven Kingdom.
Oh my god.
And
So-
how she used to have a pet rock that was the most shiniest black rock that you could
my
find
god, of course.
in the Dwarven Kingdom.
So for the record, would a greater curse be dispellable via remove curse?
I have to look up the spell.
Remove
Or
curse
would it
removes
be
all
remove
curses.
greater curse?
Remove greater curses and dispel.
I'd say it'd be a contested check. It wouldn't immediately end it.
Okay. If it's a curse you need removed, then I'm actually a specialist in that sort of thing. Would you allow me to try?
I need you to roll persuasion.
I help with the persuasion. Yeah, this guy's the best I've ever seen.
Guy?
You get advantage, honey.
All right. God, that's 10.
With advantage.
Yeah.
Even Lithera doesn't look impressed.
Minuet tries once more and says, "Well, you could at least give him a try. For me?"
The ragged-looking cleric shakes her head and goes, "I've already tried. It's a bit tough.
I've
actually
dispelled I dispelled a portal to the Shadowfell. If it's great feats of abjuration, then
Nobody in that
For the
entire group
record.
believes you.
The
There is no
Minuet
check.
vouches for
Nobody
him.
believes you.
I actually saw him dispel that door, so,
You keep calling Natalie a he, which is both funny and terrible to me.
Sorry. She.
The rest. Sarah, Cole, Ryan, you were there. You could vouch for me.
Oh yeah, she did that. Ryan is not paying attention and is not good.
Well, with my +7 on persuasion, I get a 18.
No. There's no check. Nobody believes you. There's flat no check. Nobody believes you, and you even get a couple of them to just under their breath.
This Sarah just rolls her eyes and looks around at the group and goes, "Which one of you occurred?"
One second, Mike. With Sarah, roll persuasion with advantage.
Oh, good. $16.
It takes a moment for any of them to do anything, but ever so slightly, as you're looking over towards Avery, you see their hand grip the half-elf's hand, and the half-elf looks at you for a moment, a bit sadly, and then looks away, but no one says anything.
The Sarah nods and quietly takes the moonstone pendant out of her shirt, starting to whisper a prayer in hopes of helping this cursed individual.
Roll religion.
You remember that what that pendant does, yes?
Vaguely. It's been a while.
You butt!
Natalie, look in chat.
You might need to resend it to me.
I'm working on it.
I didn't take very good notes on my own procedure.
Why?
Oh. Whoops.
That one.
Oh.
That one!
Ah.
That one!
I don't remember what that does, though.
Oh my.
What does it do? No, I mean the actual thing, because I can't find anything on that specific word choice.
Wait, is this the, Neko's girlfriend thing?
Yes.
Ah, yay.
What does that do?
What does what do?
I'm not sure exactly what Divine Blessing does. I know I had a reason for it, but I don't remember.
God damn it.
Was it like divine favor that you meant? Or
Maybe.
it's the first level spell, so maybe not.
I think I meant it along the same lines of Divine Intervention, but guaranteed. I'd still like you to roll religion.
Okay. This will be probably bad. Yep, that's a 7.
You specifically, Lysera, nobody else, You feel the moonlight reach away from where the moonlight is actually hitting and towards the half elf. You can actually see the moonlight starting to shift and bend as if it's trying to reach, but it doesn't quite do anything else except for shift and bend. It doesn't seem like it's reaching its target very well. You can sense that someone was trying to answer your prayer, but something is keeping it at bay.
Luthera frowns and bows her head slightly. I wish you all of the best luck in reaching Yata. May your steps be guided.
It's at this point, Lucera, that the half elf, who has been pretty much asleep this entire time, except for about 5-10 minutes ago when she woke up, actually takes her hand away from Avery's and begins to move her hands in a series of motions. I need you to roll intelligence.
Just straight intel?
Mm-hmm.
19.
You're not entirely versed in this particular mode of language, but you get the main message of what she's trying to tell you, and she says more or less, I was cursed to not be able to speak my spells into existence. We're trying to remove it.
Luthera nods and thinks on it for a minute. If all else fails, there's a temple on the other side of the mountains. There reside the Knights of San It's Summit Hall. Visit them. They may know someone who can help.
There's a slight nod from the half-elf, and they sit back down and lean against Avery.
Could you all please allow me just one chance at it? I can't sit back and watch this.
The half-elf leans further away from you, like she sincerely doesn't trust you to do anything. At which point the Firbolg just goes, he doesn't really trust many people aside from Avery. It's nothing about you.
Luthera just smirks. I can see why.
Hysterically, almost. The Firbolg looks at you and goes, what do you mean?
Luthera just huffs a laugh, letting her shoulders shake a little bit.
Oh, really? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
It is not often that I answer with the fact of honor among thieves. She then looks at Avery. Thank you for being earnest.
Avery just shrugs like, don't look at me. But you can just barely see the hints of a blush on their face. Don't look at me. Don't draw attention to me. How dare you?
You've a good friend. Keep him close if you can.
This is so fucking ridiculous. I didn't expect this to go this way. I'm really proud of you guys. I honestly thought you were going to attack them.
We're not that cruel.
Hmm.
You sure about that?
We're not intentionally that cruel.
Again, are you sure about that?
I'm sure about that one.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So the rest of the night passes without issue, just going back and forth about stories that from either their side of things, of meeting each other and the taverns they caused an uproar in, to dungeons they've trolled and things they've figured out, which for the most part is mostly silly arrangements of embarrassing royals and causing them to be caught with their pants down, more or less. And dawn comes rather easily to you, and you're about a day and some change away from Red Larch. They do seem a bit reluctant to go alongside you, however, to Red Larch. So if you want them to go with you, I'm going to ask for another persuasion check from one of you guys.
The Minuet tries to persuade them.
How?
You know, it is safer in numbers, especially since we've been hearing about wyverns, and we're here to help keep them under control, at least until we get to that point. You'd be safer with us, I suppose.
Gotcha, I'll keep it in
I
mind.
get a 26.
They still seem reluctant, if only for the fact of you keep mentioning wyverns and there's no wyverns nearby. They were talking about bandits, but they do, in their own cart, which they had dragged off to be hidden within the brush of the slightly still remaining forest line, and they take it out back to the road, and one of them, the druid specifically, casts Conjure Animals and starts going. He doesn't really seem to care if you're following or not. However, Avery is on the back of the cart with the half-elf, just waving like, sorry. The most apologetic wave of, I'm so sorry.
There chuckles and gets into the cart. Well, looks like we're headed out.
So who's taking point on the matter of conjuring animals?
Natalie doesn't seem to have really good focus right now, so she'll leave it to Lithera.
Lithera should cast it, no problem.
Okay. I need perception check with advantage this time. That was a crazy roll. I don't know what my dice did.
19.
It rolled along 4 different sides before landing on a number, and I'm just so surprised that it actually landed. It was on its side for like a solid 2 seconds before it landed. Why are my dice being weird to me now?
25.
Okay. So over the next day and a half to get to Red Larch, nothing really happens, so you can definitely tell that the ones that are keeping out watch are more than a little apprehensive with their weapons drawn and ready to seemingly scare off any unwanted intrusion at the side of the cart. Yes, it's within 100 feet.
Luthera, Natalie's probably going to be sitting up with you at the horse at the head of the cart, and she appears to cast spell you've probably noticed her doing before, as she appears to whisper out into thin air in the direction of Avery.
Lithera just rolls her eyes slightly, but doesn't say anything.
Are you casting message?
Yes.
Sure. What are you trying to say? Oh boy, I'm getting a message. We're just really playing out the fact that nobody else can hear you, huh?
That's what message does.
You and Lacera both see Avery jump, look around in confusion.
Lithera points at Natalie.
Who waves?
And not knowing how message works, says out loud, "Stop pushing it, please."
Lithera just laughs.
Natalie sighs dejectedly.
And then, like, after a few seconds says, "No offense, but we did almost get killed out on the road by someone who claimed that they were going to be nice to us." Did my Discord break again, or did you guys fall silent?
No. It's just silent.
Natalie's just dejected, like, "Oh no, my career."
Oh no, the one thing I'm good at.
So, Lacera and Cole are actually the first ones to see it past the cart in front of them. But there is a perimeter of spikes around a wall leading to Red Larch. And there is a seemingly watchtower near the gate.
Lithera crans her neck up to look at it. That's new. Curious, but also somewhat proud.
You're all let in without issue. It's about midday at this point. So the sun is high in the sky, and there are people bustling to and fro. They don't seem to pay much mind to any of you because this is pretty normal. They're along the way to Yartar, after all. They seem to be preparing for something, though, from what you can tell.
Lithera looks around. Guess she got to look at the map earlier. But what looks different?
Does the town look different?
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, everything is the same, though notably where there should be something of a cavern in the middle of the city, It's completely held over. It's completely easy to walk through. There's even a big post in the middle that tells where everything is. Directions, as it were. And for the most part, everything seems exactly the way you left it. Except for the fact that there is a perimeter of a wall around the entire city with spikes and another watchtower on the opposite side of the city.
Lythera looks impressed.
They are headed to the Singing Sword. Your compatriots.
Okay.
Ryan, actually. Mars, you're on mute. Are you
Sorry.
zoning out a little bit?
Yes.
Ryan would actually, Ryan would recognize this place. You've been here countless times before.
Oh, great.
It's definitely gotten a lot better with the watchtowers. They weren't quite so held together the last time you were here. So it has been a couple of years. Maybe you just remembered differently.
Okay.
Some people even wave to you, Ryan, recognizing you.
I wave back cheerfully.
Funnily enough, they don't recognize Lythera whatsoever.
Lythera's not trying to be recognized with her hood up. It's called Don't Notice Me. I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Because of that, actually, you get stopped by a couple of people that seem a bit concerned. And they're giving you the look of, do you need help? If Natalie's sitting right next to you, this will be a funny interaction. Because there's a small, 3 or 4 people that have tried to stop you and given Lythera the look of, do you need help? Do you need medical attention? Is something wrong? Can we help? Kind of look. And one of them actually does ask, do you need some help, miss?
Lythera takes a moment. Almost seeming not to know what her answer should be. In all honesty, yes. But also in tandem, no.
So is there nothing we can do to help?
Perhaps not. I'm not certain there's much that could, I suppose, chase whatever terrors run rampant. Things are changed.
Strangely enough, Lythera, they just give you a slow nod as if they understand completely what you're talking about.
Thank you for your concern.
They gesture to continue on, and they keep walking and talking amongst themselves. Do you head to the tavern? So Natalie, you just witnessed that.
Yeah. That's where we're going. Natalie's leaving it up to Lythera.
Do I actually get to do this? Do I? Where did I put that? Freaking, it's not in the share.
Oh, it's like
It is.
Yeah.
It's 10:13 p.m. for me.
Well,
Well-
it's 1:13 for me, so.
We might have to end this then.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yes.
I would say we all head to the tavern, and we can end there.
All right. Is that an appropriate place to stop for all of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you all ride up to the Singing Sword Tavern a little bit after your fellow compatriots had arrived, and they're already making their way inside. It's probably going to be a very tiring day. That's where we'll end.